Let's have a conversation. Tell me what you think about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole, a talk show based here in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today, September 16, 2020, it's what I call What Women Want Wednesday. What Women Want Wednesday. So this is an opportunity for us to interact. This is an interactive live. So I definitely want to hear from you. So put in the comments your questions, your thoughts, and I want to know where you're tuning in from. So I need to see your city, your state, where you're tuning in from tonight. So tonight we have a very special guest. I'm super duper excited to have her on here. Um, Boy, you know what? I'm not going to introduce her. I'm going to allow this video to introduce her for me. So take a look.
Boy, maybe if you cared enough, I wouldn't have to care so much. Oh, what happened to our trust? Now you're just giving up. You used to be so in love. Now you don't care no more. Baby, oh yeah. I can't do it. No.
Oh, I love it. Miss Jalen Josey. Welcome, Jalen.
Hi. Hi there.
What do you think when you see that video?
I was literally just playing on my phone and uploaded it. So I always see the mistakes in it, but like apparently other people thought that it was great. So
Truly. So I'm gonna just tell the folks a little bit about you. Jalen is a 21-year-old from Metro Atlanta. She's been on Broadway. She has done voiceovers. She just released her EP, which we're going to get into. But I am super delighted to have you here this evening.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
My pleasure. So this video that I just showed y'all was from a Beyonce riff that you did back in January, right?
Mm-hmm.
That hit Twitter and just took off.
Yeah.
I mean, how many views?
I think over 2 million views.
Which by all standards is viral, right?
Yeah.
And you said you were just playing around.
I really was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was playing and I just posted it. The majority of my videos on Twitter as opposed to Instagram are like playful videos. But like, I guess, on Instagram, they're more serious. Like I'm actually doing covers, but Twitter, I was just playing around and it just went viral one day.
Now I saw somebody by the name of Maxwell commented.
Yes.
And what
him, Missy Elliott, Kalani, I don't know if you know who that is, but a lot of people actually saw it. It reached a lot of people.
Wow, that is amazing. So let's go back. How long have you been singing?
I would like to say professionally, I've been probably singing since, I would say high school, but my mom would probably say like middle school sometimes. So So professionally, probably like high school.
Okay. And I mean, how did you become interested in singing? I mean, has it been something that you did when you were a little girl, or?
I was interested. I was kind of pushed in it, not like against my will, but like my mom knew that I had more of a gift than me, and so she was like, "Okay, well, I guess as a child, you got busybody kids, and I'm her only child, so the way to keep your child, from doing crazy stuff, you put them in the arts, and it just so happened to help me, in fact, with holding in on something that I actually would grow up to do professionally. So
Okay.
my mom put me into a group called Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. From there, I went to Tri-Cities High School in East Atlanta.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to Baldwin Wallace Conservatory for Music. And from there, I went to Broadway. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. 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 So tell me about Broadway. What was that experience like?
It was, well, I kind of experienced it at a young age. So sitting back now and feeling the feeling of being on Broadway, I think I debuted on Broadway as an 18-year-old. So I don't think I took it mentally. I probably physically probably took it seriously, but like now I'm as a 21-year-old, I'm now understanding that I got the chance to be on Broadway and I didn't understand it when I was 18. So like now as a 21-year-old, I see the fact that like, yes, I got the chance to be on Broadway, so.
Okay. And how long did the show run?
The show ran for, I think it ran for a year.
Okay.
And it actually today is the anniversary of our closing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. So what was that like in terms of hours of practice and work and that sort of thing?
It was very tedious. It was tedious, and I keep bringing up the fact that I was 18, but I think it was it was different for someone who's younger and green in the fact, like I didn't want people to know that I was green, so I was trying to adapt to things that like other like more like well-known actors in the show were doing. So I wanted to like I don't know, not copy them. Yeah. So basically it was tedious until the show opened, and then I got to do it constantly, and then it was more so in my body, and it started to be easier as the shows went on.
Gotcha. And you played Pearl Crafts?
Yes.
Okay. And was that challenging for you?
Yeah, because the shoes, well, okay, so playing Pearl, yes, was challenging, but my shoes were like 6 inches and they were platform shoes. So, my ankles probably had it worse than me.
So it strengthened your ankles, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what was the best thing about that experience?
The best thing about that experience was probably getting to live in a different state for a little bit.
Okay.
I would say it was a nice get away from home type of feel. And of course, everybody wants to experience college, and I left college after my freshman year to go on Broadway. So like I got to experience like a different type of, I don't know, like away from home type vibe. Like some, kids get to do like they go away to college and they get that away from home type feel, but mine was living in New York. So that was probably the best thing for me.
Cool, cool. Now, what were you studying in college?
I was studying music theater.
Okay. Now, any plans to go back?
It depends on the job. I promise my actual heart is in music. So I'm going to be doing music in Atlanta for the time being, but it really depends on the job. Like if the job is like, then of course I'll do it. But as of right now, no.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. And would you do Broadway again?
Yeah. I mean, again, it depends on the job.
Okay. All right. What would be the ideal Broadway job?
I would probably have to play a lead role. Like I told myself that I was going to devote myself and my heart to, music, because that's what makes me the most happiest. So, but it really depends on the job. Like I would probably have to play a lead role. And,
Mhm.
you know,
Okay. All right. I hear you lead role. You think you up for the challenge?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Look at it. Yes, ma'am. All right. Now you've done some off Broadway, hadn't you?
hmm
Okay. And that was what role?
Secret Life of the Bees, and it wasn't a very significant role, but I got to perform with some huge Broadway actors, like Shant and Issa Davis, and I again got to like perform with one of my closest friends, who his name is Brett Gray, and he's performed, well, not performed, but he's on the Netflix show On My Block. So it wasn't like a huge thing, but like I got to get experience from like really, spectacular people in the business.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So one of my loyal viewers, Johnny Johnson, wants to know: have you connected with Tyler Perry?
That's funny. When I was 14, I really hope nobody finds this video, but I'm just saying it for the sake of the question. I was on a show called Love Thy Neighbors, and I played the bully in his show, like when I was 14 or 13, or that was way, way back then. But as of right now, no, I have not connected with Tyler Perry.
You played a bully?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. Cannot imagine.
Yeah, I was tall for a 13-year-old. So
Gotcha. Now, so have you taken any acting classes?
Actually, so because everything has been like closed down because of the pandemic, I've been doing really most of my training online. Um, but the last in-person class I probably had was like before the pandemic.
Gotcha. And how do you like that?
Which one, before or after?
But just acting, period.
Oh, I love it. It's
Yeah.
not my heart, but it's definitely something. It's like everybody has, or they'll say people who work in music theater or like Broadway actors, or they're like triple threats. So like my third would probably be like acting. Like it's not like the top one in my three, but it's definitely there.
Okay, gotcha. Any acting roles that you might be interested in?
Oh, I would love to play Tiana in The Princess and the Frog, if it ever.
Really?
I don't know if Disney's ever think about it. I don't know if they would ever wanted to come to Broadway, or if they would ever want to come to like the screen, like for a live action version. I would love. That's like my dream. That's my favorite movie.
Really?
Princess and the Frog is my favorite movie.
Okay. Now you've done some voiceover stuff too, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay, and that was with who?
It's with Nickelodeon. So I did two characters. I was the Tooth Fairy in oh my gosh, what is so many? Oh, Pinkalicious. No, that's not it. No, I played the Queen Fairy in Pinkalicious. That's on PBS. And the other one, Nella the Princess Knight. I played the Tooth Fairy on Nella and Princess Knight.
Okay. And what was that like?
It was different. So like in actual like I keep going back to music theater. So like in rehearsals for Broadway, like they're in your face and like you're there person to person, and it's a lot of people there. For voiceover, it's you, the mic, and a director.
Right.
And it's in a very like empty room. I mean, like it's almost like going into the studio and just recording songs. It's tedious because they constantly make you say lines over and over and over just because they want to have different things to choose from. But like, it's very different than like you being in person in rehearsal, person for a show.
So I would imagine voiceover work is not in the top 3.
No, but I mean, it pays the bills. So.
Yeah, right. It depends on the job, right?
Yeah.
That's real. That's fair. So you mentioned the pandemic, or what have you, quarantine or COVID. What's life been like since COVID? Life
and COVID. So thankfully I had already left New York. Like actually in the beginning of the year, I was in Bahamas for a a Broadway Connect to like perform in the Bahamas. And then I went to Texas for another show to, do a reading for. And then right when I got home, everything shut down. And then like life was like, okay, so like what's going on? And then like weeks after, Broadway shut down completely. And all of my best friends were like, what's going on? Because they're actually in New York and they're doing the Broadway shows. So Broadway isn't going to come back until 2021. And I'm just like, okay, that's what really pays bills. Like what's going on. And I realized and I had to come to myself and I was like, okay, well, my heart is music and that is what makes me the happiest. So, as I was on Broadway, I was creating songs and like, I would come home from shows and then start writing songs. I would write songs during my break on Broadway. So I was like, okay, well, if Broadway's not coming back until summer 2021, then like, what am I going to do here? So I immediately got into the studio, and studios are very confined places. Like you can, rent out a studio and only be you and your producer.
Right.
If you clean and the producer clean, then that's perfect for the spot. Like you don't have to have a huge studio to record anything in. And I just recorded my whole EP during this horrible time of the pandemic. So I've just been in the studio. I really have not left the studio. And this period of me releasing my EP has probably been the only time that I've not been in the studio.
Gotcha. So you spend a lot of time creating, needless to say. All right.
Yeah.
All right. But, COVID. So people are eating a lot of different things that they probably don't have no business. So what's your comfort food, your COVID comfort food?
Okay. So the pandemic has put a mirror in my face and told me that I needed to watch my weight. So I started a keto diet and I lost at least 20 pounds on it.
Wow.
And, I've been just, I slipped. I had a cookie like a minute ago. I slipped, but I've honestly just been trying to stay on this keto, no carb diet.
Okay.
But, sometimes you slip, and my comfort food would be a cookie, and I just had one.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand. For me, it's chips. So I get it. We all got our guilty pleasure.
I love me a sour dill pickle chip.
Salt and vinegar is my weakness. So I get it. So what have you been watching? Have you been binge watching anything?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I can go from A to Z because that's all you do in the pandemic. You sit at home. So Netflix. I'll start with Netflix. So Netflix, basically, I've been watching Trinkets.
Okay.
It's a show about like stealing.
Okay.
And on Hulu, I was watching Lovecraft County. That is my show.
Okay.
Lovecraft is my jam, and I just want everybody to know about Lovecraft County because that is it. I think I just found out that one of my friends are on that show. Lovecraft is it. It's either between Trinkets and Lovecraft.
Okay, so that's Netflix. What else?
Oh, and Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. Okay,
You got to watch that one.
I had heard of that, but I hadn't seen that one.
It's good.
Somebody got me hooked on Ozark.
Me and my best friend was watching it in the beginning, and then I just like tracked off and couldn't finish it.
Yeah, I spent like 2 weekends back to back. Like one night I stayed up like 8 p.m. to like 8 in the morning, like back to back. The whole thing until I got it all done. I'm ready for the new season to start.
I gotta finish season 2. That's what I'm on right now.
It's wicked.
It's good.
It is wicked. All right. Anything else?
No. I just started a Hulu series called darn it. It's something she's from London, I think, and it's like This Will Break You or something. This may destroy you. I may destroy you. There it is. I may destroy you. And I actually, it brings me to tears. So
okay. I'm gonna have to write these down because I hadn't heard of a few of these.
Yeah, I May Destroy You is one to bring you to tears.
Okay. All right. All right. So we got a question on the floor from Dr. Asha, who's right here in Tally. She said, how has the pandemic quarantine shifted your writing style? Or has it?
It has.
Okay.
Um, being in the studio with mostly men
Mm-hmm.
has changed the fact that like being in the pandemic one put me into the studio for a very long amount of time, and the
Okay.
only people that I really had to call on to go into the studio were men, and
Mm.
it's making me really really want to find women, because it's hard to for I was the only woman in the studio. It was like me and three other guys, or like it didn't matter. It was just my word against theirs, even if it was my
Mm.
product. So like it's always like, the majority feels this way over the artist, and my writing style kind of like shifted of being not, I don't want to say forced, but like me feeling like, okay, well, is my writing style that good? Because they're telling me to change it. But like at the end of the day, I would show like my friends like my original writing styles for like certain songs that I ended up changing. They were like, well, I like that one better.
Right.
The pandemic has kind of showed me to understand that like I'm not a bad writer, and I
Okay.
have to choose my word if it is my project,
Okay.
over someone else's word. Of course, I'm going to take, of course, I'm going to take, if need be, and I think it's bad, and it might actually be bad. Yes, I'm going to change it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to like go back on my word if I felt like it was good in the beginning.
Okay. That's real too. All right. So Dr. Asha also asked, with live shows being reduced, what's the new artist to engage to new? I'm sorry. What's the new artist to audience engagement experience going to look like?
Live streaming. Live streaming. I'm actually trying to get a acoustic live show together right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, of course, people are going, past the limit and doing like um, pop-up car performance type things where like they can be in the car and then like the people are on stage. But of course, I'm not at that level yet, and I think for me, my goal would be live performances
Mm-hmm.
somehow. Like I don't even doing like something on StreamYard and live streaming it and just having your viewers you know tune in. But as like to like currency, I don't think that it's not gonna be the same as somebody actually going paying for a ticket to go there. I think Megan Thee Stallion actually had people pay, but like of course I'm not on that level yet. So it's like for me, it's just like having people come to free live shows on streaming services like this.
Mm-hmm. So Johnny S, you got a release coming out, and I would say yes, that's the EP, but we're gonna get to that in just a moment. So as it relates to performing in person, you've done some of that, correct? In
Hmm.
terms of in front of audiences, not Broadway, I mean like singing.
I
You're
have.
okay. And do you think that the you would feel the same singing, without an audience per se, or a live audience versus doing streaming? Because I know sometimes you can feed off of the energy of the crowd, right?
Yeah, you can feed off the energy of the crowd, but like sometimes it's really nice to be by yourself.
Okay.
I think I think in front of the crowd gives you okay, for me, I don't get butterflies, I bite my nails. So
Uh,
so I think the feeling of me biting my nails before it will probably be eliminated. That's what I feel.
okay.
But like, I mean, I won't know until I actually just do this live performance. But
Mhm.
live performances, I'm like, that's why I get acrylics. But yeah, I feel like live streaming would kind of like take the load off a little bit. I
Got
mean, but it also depends on the person. It really depends on the person. For me, I love being by myself in a room that has great acoustics, and like if somebody was live streaming, it probably would be the best thing ever. But
Mhm.
like also I'm okay with performing in front of people, you know what I mean? That's just how it is. But For other people might feel like another person might be like, I need to have at least three or four people there, so I can know that I can feel some type of energy, radiating back, or
Right.
it probably depends on the person.
Okay. So we got a question from Paula, who's here in Tallahassee. She wants to know, does anyone else in your family sing?
No.
Really?
No. My mama thinks she can sing, but she got these low notes type. No. And I mean, my mom was a graphic designer, so I feel like my mom's a graphic designer. My grandma could paint. My uncle does some type of art. Everybody does like something like drawing. Mine just so happened to be singing.
All right. So there's creativity in the family. Just yours happens to be the vocals.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So I'm tempted right now, for those who may have missed the opening and this Beyonce riff that you did, for us to play this again for those who missed it. So what you think? Should we play it again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Boy, maybe if you cared enough, I wouldn't have to care so much. Oh, what happened to our trust? Now you're just giving up. You used to be so in love. Now you don't care no more. Ooh, 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 ooh. Baby, oh yeah. I can't do it. No.
Sing, Jay, sing. No, you definitely have a gift, a talent, so it's awesome. All right, so we're gonna wrap about COVID talk, but I want to know. I know you said you've been creating music. Anything else? I know a lot of people have picked up some skills. Some folks have become yoga instructors now. Some folks have now started cooking classes and things of that nature. Any other skills that you've been maybe working on?
Sound therapy. Me and my mom, for my mom's birthday, we recently went to a sound therapist, and my aunt Candy, she purchased 3 Tibetan bowls for me, my mom, and herself.
Okay.
So we're learning sound therapy, and we went and I learned how to like create sound from those bowls. And I think I'm gonna actually, I don't know, I think I'm gonna like probably like find a way to like put it into my music. But I think that's something I literally wake up now and play my bowl, and it's very calming. And some people have licenses for it, so I was thinking I was gonna get one. I don't know, but it's a new thing for me, so that's kind of my new thing.
That's awesome. So this is my mama who's on the live, and
Yes.
she's down in Miami. Says it's great to hear real talent like you and feel your energy.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Ma. That's awesome about those bowls. So I didn't even know that was like a thing. But I can imagine that being calming and kind of centering you and giving you a sense of balance and whatnot. So
yeah,
I would like to hear that in your music. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool.
I gotta find a way. There's no way to like hook it up and like get it recorded, but I think I could just like do it in a mic. But I would have to figure it out.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about this EP. The debut, September 10th. It's not even a week old. So let's talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell them about it.
Okay, so my EP is called Illustrations, and it's the first huge project that I've put out for myself. And it's honestly the blueprint for all of the next songs that I'm going to put out. I just wanted people to get a taste and a feel of what I've been creating and how I put stuff together and what's in my mind and like, what's going on up here. And like, it's honestly, it's like my child. At least 3 of those songs I created on Broadway. The last few, I think I created a year ago, and I think one of them I created this year. No,
Okay.
two of them I created this year, and I think two on Broadway, but and one last year. So a lot of them are, they're just it's what I've been wanting to do. It's like it's been so hard to put it out, but it's honestly about it's the way that I calm myself. It is my happiness, and it is my beginning to the next. So I wanted to give others, a piece of happiness. So
Okay. All right. So tell me about the name. Who is that? Fran?
Fran.
Okay.
Her son went to YA with me too.
Okay. Nice.
You thought I love Atlanta.
Nice. Hey, Miss Fran. So tell me about the name Illustrations.
Illustrations. Okay. I'm not a good communicator. At least I don't think I'm a good communicator. I might be a good communicator. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, it was really hard for me to, say what was on my mind or like speak without like, I don't want to say I was stuttering a little bit, but like it just wouldn't come out. And the only way I could communicate was like visually and or like through music. Like the only way people really would like understand what I was probably saying is if I was singing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is my way to illustrate what's been going on in my mind.
Okay. Nice. Nice. So we have a little teaser of Illustrations that we want people to get a taste of it. So listen up.
If you know me, baby, I don't like to wait. Can you do it for me? And let your love come down, baby. Can you do it for me? Let your love come down, down, baby. Can you do it for me, baby? Love come down, baby.
Nice. So how the sales going or the streams going as it relates to it?
Okay, it's only been 5 days, and I have the number right here.
Okay.
73,175 streams all times, and that's only on Spotify. I don't know what's on iTunes just yet, but I know Spotify is up there. So
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And so this is labeled as like funk, I think, when I looked at it in iTunes. So tell me about that, funk versus R&B or what have you. Did you choose what the label was going to be or what?
Yeah, because okay, so honestly, my whole thing about Illustrations was using live instruments and live musicians and having people actually present and creating the sound of my EP. I didn't want all of the songs to be on a soundboard, which I'm going to eventually try that for my next EP, like to mix both the beat machine and instruments. That'll be my next challenge. But aside from that, the funk is really the fact that like I'm trying to just combine orchestrations and new music, and it kind of it came out of, I don't know, it just came out of that. Like I knew that that's what I wanted, and I knew that that's also what was in it. So it's like, then everybody was looking at it like, so like, what's the genre? And we were feeling like it was funk. So
okay,
like live music and beat machine. So
okay, got it. Now, would you say funk has been an influence of yours, or has influenced some of your music?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who? Any musicians in particular?
Musicians in particular. So I've always been a Louis Armstrong fan.
Okay.
I like, if you're talking about back in the day, Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington. I just love to like sit and listen to just like jazz records with no singing or anything. Just like I'm definitely that type of female. So yeah, I mean it's a lot more, but I can't really think off the top of my head.
That's fine. I was just curious. I guess when I think of funk, I think more of like a James Brown or George Clinton. Or
I think they all kind of like created at the end of I don't know. I feel like the trumpet, also like big band sounds, just like
Yes.
I don't know, just they kind of form it in a way. I don't know.
No,
That's how I feel.
that's cool. That's cool. And so, you did this Beyonce riff, and I think I've seen also you did a Jasmine Sullivan challenge.
Hmm.
Have those ladies had any influence on, your style or, some of the things that you've done?
Yeah, most definitely. I I'm a Hive. I'm a Beyonce fan, and
Okay.
I always go to war about it. But I'm trying to. I want to find my own sound without having to, you know. I don't know. I want to find my own sound, but like also like show the things that like people that I'm inspired by. Like I kind of want them to. I kind of want it to be that, but like I want it to be a mixing pot of everything. So like yes, they've inspired me, but
Okay.
I want you to see it, but I don't want you to see that at the same time.
I got you. Well, I think you do have your own style. I mean, illustrations is nice. And my two favorite are She Got It and All Mine.
Woo!
Yeah. She Got It to me is I think it speaks to black women just being proud of who they are and their body image, and not having to conform to what the Western, world says is beautiful or is attractive or acceptable.
Hmm.
And that to me is, I think it's great. I think it's bold. I think it's beautiful. So I really like that song a lot.
Thank you, because She's Got It was technically like a point in my life where I kind of didn't feel pretty or
Mhm.
like so I needed something hype me up. So
Yeah.
I kind of made it. Of course, it's for everyone, but I made it for myself to heal.
Okay. Yeah. I
So I'm
feel.
glad it's saw like that.
Yeah. You feel it though. You feel it, and that's good. And we need that. We really do. I think especially during times like we are experiencing right now in America, um, we need some upliftment, especially amongst African Americans.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and in particularly women. So, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, what's your favorite?
My favorite is When We Jump.
Okay. That
It,
was
because again, I want a orchestra. I need a full orchestra to complete my dreams. And,
okay.
um, when we jump is definitely like it has a mixture of everything that I've ever wanted without it being a huge orchestra. Didn't use that many people in this song, um, but everybody who like touched the cello and who used their violin for this song in particular definitely um, it 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 heals for me. Like
Mhm.
the lyrics, I was going through a very rough time. I wrote this one last year,
Okay.
and I and I promised myself I would never tell the story, but I was with a couple of my friends, and we were like we were on their on the balcony of their building in New York, and we were just like, I think a friend of mine, it was Brett Gray, a friend of mine. Somebody said, um, if we jump, who do you think would save us? And then they was like naming all the type of superheroes that would save them and all this other stuff. And I was like, those are good lyrics. And then I just went on with it. So,
All right. So that was the inspiration, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Miss Fran said the entire EP is fire.
Yay. Thank you, Miss Fran.
Fire. Good deal. Wow. So tell the folks where they can get the EP.
Okay, y'all can get the EP on all streaming platforms. You can get it on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. There's some called Deezer. I'm almost certain that it's on SoundCloud. So you can get it if you go to my Instagram, which is just Jalen Josey. It's in my bio. You can download it anywhere. Like probably just type it into Google and it'll probably show up. So
Okay.
if you put Jalen Josey illustrations, it'll probably present to you like that. So
Yes. Nice. So, you talked about some of the musical influences. Is there anybody that you would like to work with?
Basically everybody we talked about. I want to work with Beyonce. I want to work with Jasmine Sullivan. I would love to work with Lucky Day. Oh my gosh, Lucky Day. I would love to work with Giveon. Her. There's this lady named oh yeah, I mean yeah, Stevie Nicks of course, because Stevie Nicks is a huge inspiration of mine.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan.
Really? Huh. You an old soul, ain't you?
Yeah. My mom was born in Detroit, and apparently they didn't have segregated radios back then. So like my mom's cleaning music when I was younger was like rock and then, funk.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I like Stevie Nicks as well.
I love that lady.
Boy,
That's my dad.
That's your dad?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Dad.
Look at that with the red fox. Cool. So, have you been watching the Versus?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What? Why are you looking like that?
The last one was hilarious to me.
With Patty and Gladys.
This was very hilarious to me.
Why was it so hilarious?
Because it was just like, it was just funny. Because, like, okay, me growing up, my grandma is very, very strong willed. She could probably hold 3 conversations, at one time, you know what I mean? So, like, I literally, it almost felt like I was watching my grandma.
Gotcha.
So, my grandma is crazy, and I love her death, and that's probably where I get my personality from. So it was very funny, and I wouldn't my thing is they were talking for a very long point in the beginning, and I just feel like I could never break up my grandma conversation and be like, "Hey, grandma, we probably need to So I was like, I feel like everybody stayed on that live, and nobody told them to move on because you don't tell your grandma to do that. So I thought it was very, very funny. It was very funny. I think that was probably the funniest one.
Okay. Well, what's been your favorite?
My favorite? When Nelly and Ludacris, had theirs, that was probably the best one because I was in my room, I was dancing. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
All right, good deal. And who would you like to see do a Versus?
Who would I like to see do a Versus? Honestly, if they could go back and have T.I. go against Ludacris.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be great. I think that would be nice.
ATL versus ATL.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Or who are some of your ATLian influences or, folks that
Okay, so Outkast went to my high school. Outkast.
Okay.
I like them because they're very outlandish and I aspire to be that way. I have to find it first, but I aspire to be that way.
You said you gotta find it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's in there, all right.
It's in there, but it's not there yet.
Okay. All right.
So I said Outkast. I'm definitely a Monica fan.
Okay.
She just did Versus too.
I know. I saw.
I mean, everybody else probably the rappers that you probably haven't heard of.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, not anybody.
What about the name of Lil Baby?
I heard a Little Baby. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So do you rap too or no?
No.
Oh. Look, I don't know. There's a lot of creativity going on over there. I'm just saying,
I could not do no rapping.
Well, you could maybe have a
collab. Freestyle.
You could have a collab and have somebody on there, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I would definitely lose in a freestyle though.
Okay. So what inspires you in terms of writing?
Anything. I like to write on a whim, but I don't write first. I probably record an audio message. Just I'm not the quickest typer. So honestly, anything can inspire me. I wrote a song earlier today just because it's been raining it kind of like turned cold quickly. So, and I had a weird day yesterday. So like all of this, like I just write off of, experiences that happen, small inconveniences turn into like really nice songs, or
Gotcha.
just certain type of, emotions that I'm feeling, or it's my way to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Because personally, I've always felt like I wasn't the best communicator. I probably have gotten better, but in the beginning, I swear I was not a good communicator at all. So like now if I feel like I need to, help myself, heal myself, make myself feel better, then I start writing off of a whim. So it
Good.
really, I can inspire off of anything.
Have you ever experienced a writer's block?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, I think this is God's way of being funny, but while I was trying to get this EP out, I had a horrible writer's block. So I was in the studio finishing songs, and I was like, I wanted to come home. I thought I was almost done with the EP. I wanted to come home. I wanted to start writing, and I could not write. I was like, okay, I'm going into the studio tomorrow, so at least I got that.
Mm-hmm.
But once the EP was done and I sent it to the distributors,
Uh-huh.
I wrote, this new EP.
Uh-huh.
It just so happened one day, like I sent my music to the distributors, and then I started writing. I feel like I just had to let a load get off of my shoulder.
Okay.
I wanted to. I don't know. It honestly it just happened. So I wasn't able to write during the process of my EP, but like now I can do it. When I want to.
So it's flowing freely now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. All right. Dr. Asha said, do you find that your writing reflects only your experiences, or does it also reflect the experiences of those around you? Example, friends, family, community, the world.
It doesn't really reflect only my experiences. I have a song called Death of a Black Girl that's also on Spotify. And it wasn't my story solely. It was my story and a close friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't always reflect me. Of course I'm gonna like write what's closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, when we jump was somebody else's story. You know what I mean? When we jump started off as someone else's question whether somebody was going to save them or not if they jumped. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't always reflect. It doesn't always revolve around me, my writing. Mm-hmm. So I really write if it has to do with anything, and it really depends. But no, it doesn't always reflect myself.
Okay. Yeah, Robin, thank you. She said, awesome writing, great music. So do you feel like as a writer, you may feel a little deeper than most?
Oh, that's a good question.
To be able to write somebody else's story, like you said, for the When We Jump song, do you think that you may be a little bit more empathetic?
Empathetic. I'm probably more emotional.
Okay.
I cry a lot, and I'm very open to say that. Mm-hmm. I think everybody's way of expressing something is going to come out in some way, fashion, or form. So in my form, it's writing, and my emotions tend to do well and do best when they're written. So I don't personally think that my empathy or my emotions are deeper than someone else's, because someone else's might be painting some type of Mona Lisa, and they just got finished crying, I don't know. I just know that everybody has their level of creating and putting emotion to some type of art form, whether that I just I think
I get what you're saying, but for you it's wrong. So no, I get it. All right. So Tarek, who is actually in Atlanta, said artists like the OJs, Marvin Gaye, Staples, Curtis Mayfield created songs that encouraged the people and helped to define the American landscape during the civil rights movement. Can you see yourself creating a song that can speak to what's going on in America today?
I have, but I've never been one to. I've never been. Again, I know age does not matter in this, but I never felt like I was able to give that song just yet because of the fact that like I feel like you have to live life, and those names that you just named have lived very extended amounts of years. They've gone through things that I have not gone through, and they've seen different things. And of course, me being in 2020 is seeing a lot because of the president, and because of the certain social indifferences that people are going through, and the things that women go through, and that Black women go through, and that women in general, and you know, everything that's, you know, of course I'm going through something in this year, but I think that I still need to like collect a couple more, you know, knowledge gems before I can create, I don't want to say the perfect song, but something that is you know, lasting and can stand on its own and actually can be meaningful, and actually I don't want to lie when I write music. So I want to go through, I don't want to go through it. Like I would hope that I don't have to go through anything bad, but like I want to live a couple more years so I can actually perfect a song that actually is meaningful and it's not a lie.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, and I think Tarek does too. You know, a little bit more experience. Although you don't want to experience it, but you know, you want to live a little more before you actually write that song, sing that song, so on and so on. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, any thoughts around when the next EP might be coming out? No pressure.
I would hope that it can come out. I'm actually gonna go into the studio as probably like as early as like next week. So that's when I start. So hopefully I can get it out probably like spring 2021, beginning of 2021. It depends on how fast I work, but I also like to make sure that everything is like I dot my I's, across my T's, you know, everything sounds to perfection. So soon.
Okay, I will take that. We'll take that. All right. So besides the second EP, what's next for Jalen Josey?
Besides the second EP, what's next for Jalen Josey? Only time will tell.
Look at you.
But of course, I think time is definitely moving me to the path of solely music. It has been helping me through a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna try my best to help others through music. So, but again, time will tell.
Okay. Well, help us. We need your gift. We need your talents. We give thanks for you and what you're doing, and just wish you all the best. I love seeing young people such as yourself, you know, operating in their gifts and doing great and wonderful things. I see a question from Daddy. What makes you humble?
Dad. I mean, I guess the fact that my family keeps me down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, who tells them themselves that they're humble? I don't. I mean, you want other people to tell you that you're humble. I mean, I don't know. I've never had to answer this question. I'll stay with the fact that if I ever get the big head, I know that I'll have my dad and my mom and everybody to bring me down to earth because I don't. My family keeps me humble.
That's a good thing. Okay. I think humility has its place. So, and you probably recognize yourself as being humble at times.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, very good. Well, I surely do appreciate this time that you have spent with us tonight.
Thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. How can folks reach out to you or connect with you?
Instagram. My Instagram is Jalen Josey. My
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is Jalen Josey. YouTube is Jalen Josey. Everywhere is Jalen Josey.
Okay.
You can type in the Spotify Jalen Josey. You can type in anything. Like if you want to go find me on Google, you can find me on Google.
All right.
Just type in my name, and everything that if you would want to find anything on me, it would be there once you type in my name.
All right. So get the EP illustrations on all of those outlets, Spotify, iTunes, all of the outlets where you get your music from. All right. We want to get those streams up. Get them up. Get them up. Go
Yes,
like her.
ma'am.
Go follow her. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. We need to support each other. Support, support, support. There's no support like your support. So please support this young lady as she does live. As she lives her dream, uses her gifts and talents to tell great stories and help heal the people. Help heal the people. Okay. Tari said, please go buy Mood Music in 5 points. You familiar with Mood's music?
I know what little 5 points is. I don't know what mood music is.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, hey, I can support Mood's music.
Okay. All right. I don't know
If it's somebody.
a pop-up there or something. I don't know. I'm not sure why he mentioned that, but okay. We'll have to check out Mood's music.
Mood's music.
Okay, cool. All right. Anything you want to say in closing before we wrap it up?
In closing, okay. So this is my one thing because this is me telling myself, and this is me telling others.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a young girl, before I knew that I was, I wanted to sing professionally, my mom and my father would ask me, okay, so you got your plan A, so what's your plan B?
Okay.
And I would tell everybody, I would be like, okay, my plan B is to make sure that my plan A works. And I hope that if your plan A is as significant as you dream it to be, that you would do everything in your path and your in your heart to, and whatever you could do to, continue on the path to creating your dream and making sure that your plan A works.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, do you know Curtis Wilson?
That's my cousin.
Okay. So Curtis wants to know what your favorite on stage experience was.
Probably SpongeBob.
Okay.
It was good to finally see it, to get the experience to see all those people in the audience. I think it was a really nice introduction to what I wanted to do in life.
Cool. All right. And then Tarek said that Mood Music will be a good resource for you.
Okay.
So
Okay, I'll definitely look it up.
okay, cool. Thank you. All right. Well, again, thanks so much for being on. You'll have to come back once the new EP comes out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And then maybe we could get you to sing us a little something live.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right. So I want to thank everyone who was on the live tonight, all of the comments, all of the questions. We appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel, please do so. And also, if you have Roku TV, check out Greater Works Network. We actually are streaming live right now on Roku TV. So if you have Roku TV, add us to your channel options. Yes, yes, yes. Support, support, support. Again, thank you, Jalen, and all the best to you. And look forward to hearing great and wonderful things from you.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. All right. We will see y'all next time.
Have a
Boy, maybe if you cared enough, I wouldn't have to care so much. Oh, what happened to our trust? Now you're just giving up. You used to be so in love. Now you don't care no more. Ooh, 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 ooh. let your love come down.